Yes, the great deals this season. Summertime savings right now, Roger Peasy.
Come on. Good morning. It's going to be probably a couple of seconds before everyone starts to join, but I'm going to hop up on the wall. You can see rainfall totals here. I'll go over our full forecast for today. So this will last 5-10 minutes or so, however long it takes. And we're going to push out a mobile alert. All right. Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to 6 Plus, YouTube, and or Facebook this almost Wednesday afternoon. You know what's crazy to me, first and foremost, it's been such a weird June and first week of July, how much rain we've gotten, how much below the norm we've been. That look at how green this grass and trees is here. I noticed that at my house this week too. It has just been so unusual and such an unusual kickoff to the month of July. Now, right now, we're seeing temperatures just a tick higher than yesterday at this time because the sun has been poking out here in Bell County. 84, feeling like 91. So starting to see that difference between the actual and the feels like temperature due to the high humidity we do have in place today. Now, thankfully, winds are breezy at times already, sustained at 14 out of the south and Temple floor right now. So partly cloudy skies for most. A few folks already getting rain again. Yes, there is another chance for rain today. I'll get to that. That'll be the bulk of this discussion here. Rainfall totals for yesterday. Been showing this map daily since July started in Little River Academy, Eastern Bell County were the big winners. I know Falls and Milam County also had quite a bit of rain, a lot of those gauges at over an inch, but this one picked up 1.3 in Little River Academy. Temple. Temple was funny yesterday because I was at work until 5:30. I do the 5 o'clock news, and so I left here at 5:30. Torrential downpour here at the station, which is downtown. I get over to West Adams, which is, I mean, maybe a mile or two west. Couldn't be drier. They had zero rain. So I was like right where it stopped was I-35. And that's how this tropical system in general has been. Your neighbors get nothing. You rack up potentially 3 inches of rain type of thing. And that's just pretty unusual. We don't see that a lot, of course, here in Central Texas. So Gates fell at around 1/4 of an inch yesterday alone, and then just over 1/2 inch at the Bosque gauge at McGregor. You can see Goldthwaite racked up a little bit as well. So feels like temperatures a little bit higher. Like I said, this is indicative of something. Our weather pattern is starting to change. We're going to start to reset and eventually go back to where we typically are situated in July. So already feeling like at 11:14. That we're in the 90s for much of the viewing area. Current SATRAD shows Coryell County as well as Burnett County getting some rain showers, thunderstorm activity, and it's just kind of sitting there like these storms have been doing over the past week or so. Some sea breeze thunderstorms coming up from I-10. So that could move into some of our southeastern counties here in the coming hours, especially early mid-afternoon for down by College Station. I know they received some rain yesterday as well, and then a lot of it ended up an outflow boundary essentially kicked out of the Brazos Valley and made its way into Bell and the surrounding counties, and then it slowed down, and when that happened is when it just drenched certain areas. It racked up an inch or two of rain in just a couple of hours. So it's lighter activity that I'm seeing right now. I'll zoom in a little bit and show you where it's situated. Unfortunately, Lampasas, Coppers Cove is who some of them, I know there was a gauge, I think it was Cowhouse Creek. I could be saying that wrong. I think it was probably right here where I'm circling that racked up 7 inches of rain the other day. Crazy totals. Unfortunately, some of those streams are probably going to go up slightly. Now, if this is still doing this and sitting over north of Lake Victor along 281 Lampasas to Cove, 2-3 hours from now, we'll start to see those flood advisories, flash flood warnings issued. So that's just something to watch. It doesn't look that impressive on radar to me right now, but again, that could change. There's also a little cell coming into Rockdale Cameron area, but it doesn't look like anything too crazy. Now, it is super humid out there, you guys. We still have the moisture in place, even though we're starting to see pops of sun. We're starting to see temperatures rise in general. Radar, there's less, but still obviously some activity, and models are showing us, and I'll get to that here in a second, that there will be some more activity through this evening as well. High temperatures this afternoon, and this is telling me a story of, yes, there's another chance for rain. Why? Because typically we're in the mid 90s and sometimes even, of course, 100 degrees for high temperatures at 4 o'clock, for us to still be sitting in the 80s, and especially some of our southeastern zones. This model is picking up rain for sure, or we wouldn't be sitting that low. Now, heat index, this is not fun. Some of us will feel like 100 plus this afternoon, so summertime precautions, especially if you're not receiving that rain cooled air, which can cool you down 20, 25 degrees. We'll see who ends up getting the rain. Everyone else is probably going to feel like it's 100 degrees because it's very sticky out there. So this model wants it to kind of do what it did yesterday. And yesterday, like I said, storms came in from the Brazos Valley. They were situated a little more north than Georgetown, of course, and Bell and surrounding counties. So this isn't exact, but it is telling the same story that was told yesterday, meaning, yes, there's going to be scattered development this afternoon all the way through basically when the sun is going down this evening. You can see it is just going to be scattered. We can't pinpoint exactly where this is going to happen. If outflow boundaries, wind is coming out of thunderstorms that pop up, new ones can pop up. And that's very hard for these models to pinpoint exactly where that's going to be ahead of time. We roll on into the overnight hours tomorrow, starting out dry, and tomorrow looks pretty dry in general. Here's some good news. Now, yes, it is going to get hotter. It is going to stay humid. You see these arrows coming out of the south. Yeah, hot and humid tomorrow, but good news being we need to dry out at this point. Obviously, especially areas that are still dealing with river flooding and things of that nature, and it looks like we are going to do so. Want to quickly go through a second weather model and talk about this storm chance for today. This model is showing a little less in intensity and in coverage than the other, but still both agreeing there's going to be some development into this afternoon and early evening, right around dinner especially. This both models showed it in the Brazos Valley, so I do think that happens, but it could be anywhere across the viewing area, especially with those outflow boundaries present. Waking up in the middle 70s, quickly surging into the upper 80s for tomorrow. Some of us are likely right around 90, 91, but feeling like 100 to 105 due to the humidity we're going to have. So all the heat precautions are going to come back into the forecast, which is what we typically do see in the month of July, of course. Upped rain chances for the weekend. Now, it's not going to be a washout, and we don't anticipate for it to be anything like what we just saw this past week. It's different type of weather systems that are moving in. So again, I don't think this is going to be a washout. If you have outdoor plans, it certainly shouldn't be like the weather was around the 4th, but we're going to have basically isolated rain chances, thunderstorm activity Saturday and Sunday. Slim chance on Monday. That's still pretty far out in the 7-day forecast, so we'll see about that. But noting, we're going to keep humidity in the forecast. It is probably going to feel like it's 100 degrees daily because we're keeping the humidity in the forecast for the most part. The sun will be coming back out. So again, if you just tuned in, if you have questions on Facebook, I can read those comments. Otherwise, yes, we're starting to dry out, but keeping a few isolated rain chances through the weekend on the board, especially for Saturday and Sunday. Otherwise, it'll be partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies, and it will be feeling very hot, even though the typical high temp is probably around 94, 95, and we're going to be a couple under that. That's not going to matter. It's still going to feel hot because of the humidity. So if you guys hear of any flash flooding today, if these storms off to our west sit there for a little while and you're seeing any type of water on roads, any creeks rising or anything like that, please let us know. And otherwise, enjoy maybe a day without rain or the rain cooled air.